Hello, Makella. Thank you so
Hello.
much for joining us. It's an honor to profile a wonderful person on campus, and I know that you do a lot. So you are a VIP for this month. So we're excited to welcome you. So as
Thank
we
you.
honor Women's History Month, I know that you not only lead a women's centered organization on campus. I know you've partnered with the Career Center to host our annual Women's History celebration. So with that, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Without further ado, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. So I'm currently a senior at Suffolk. I've been studying global business and management with a minor in business law in the Honors Business School. And I'm originally from Hudson, New Hampshire. So it's about an hour north of Boston. And I was always interested in business a little bit. And I think it's always because I love talking to people. Business is all about building relationships. So when I started working at a real estate brokerage in high school, I was able to create those relationships and work with customers and people in my office. And I wanted to continue to do that in school. So that's what brought me to Boston. And then I've just kind of continued to pave my way through real estate. I'm currently a commercial real estate data and strategy intern at Iron Mountain. And I've also been an intern in property operations management and sales management at another brokerage firm as well. So, and that firm was CBRE. And so everything has just been kind of collecting itself. The ducks are coming into a row, and it's been really nice these last 4 years, and I feel very supported through Suffolk.
So proud to hear of this for you. So, how would you describe your role as president of Women in Business at Suffolk University?
I would really describe it as a facilitator, it's just a support group for the students on campus to come to with any questions that they feel like they may not getting answered in the classroom, because a lot of what the business school is about is real world experiences. So being a group of students on campus where people can come to for any questions they may have about their career or maybe some balancing student life when a lot of us are working and going to school as well. So we kind of talk through things like that, but then facilitating a path for them to get connected to careers. So getting connected to the right professionals, learning about professional organizations that they can join, whether it's finance, marketing, or even some interior design students. It's just a group where I want to make sure everybody is getting what they need out of school and getting themselves ready for what happens after school.
All right. You touched a little bit about what the goal of the organization is, as you described yourself as
Yeah.
a facilitator. So, as a woman in business and someone who is looking to empower others, how what do you think is the significance of Women's History Month, and how what relevance does it hold for you?
So yeah, very similar to our mission as our organization is just to empower each other and make sure we all have the correct tools and resources we need to be successful. And that to me is what Women's History Month is about and why it's relevant. It's always making sure that as women, we are having everything we need to be successful. And we're making sure we're in front of people and in the right conversations and not being looked over, because we are very powerful. We have great abilities and skills, and we just need to make sure people know that. And that's what Women's History Month is all about. It's all about the people who have done it, the people who are going to do it, and making sure we're all in the conversation and pushing the needle forward for us, whatever industry you may be in. It's really important to keep the diversity in our organizations and make sure that these people feel supported through their journey.
All right. So you're talking about supporting others, and I know
Mhm.
that's big for you. But
Yeah.
tell me about the folks who have inspired you. Who are your mentors?
Well, I guess my biggest mentor would be my mother. My mother, she came to the United States after she's originally from West Africa in Benin, and my whole family's from West Africa and Benin. And she studied on scholarship in Ukraine, and then she moved over to Canada to do her master's, and then she came to work in the United States. And through all of that, I always learned from her just kind of her drive and her ambition, and always not taking no for an answer, and always finding ways to improve herself and grow. And that to me has always been very inspiring, because that's what gives me the drive, is seeing somebody who can do it every day. She has two kids, she's working, she's trying to do her best, but she's always finding her way to be successful in her own ways. So that to me is one of my biggest mentors as well. And then another mentor of mine is Michelle Obama, because although she may not be like a woman in business, but she has her own businesses and things. But I always just was really inspired by her messaging from an early age. I mean, I was only in the first grade when Obama was running his elections and he had his two first terms. But through those 8 years, I was very inspired by how she was very committed to her messaging and her support of the American people. And not only that, but young women. She was always doing things to push the needle forward for us and being an example. And it was inspiring to me because it was somebody who I felt like looked like me. And you don't always have that representation in media or in politics or in business. So having somebody where you can visually see them working and helping and they look like you was very impactful for me. And I would love to be that kind of beacon for somebody else as well as I go into my career and as I do the things I do now as a student. Being an example is really important.
What do you look for in your future boss when you transition into the workplace full time?
Yeah, so I guess that word support keeps coming up. I would love a supportive boss, somebody who will be there when you need them, can answer your questions, but also just kind of have that guiding light if you get lost in the tunnel of all of the things you're doing all the time. So that is important to me. And then awareness is important as well. Just knowing that I may not look like everybody on the team. I may not have the same skills or the same background, but knowing what I bring to the table and you're utilizing my strengths in our team or in our projects is real leadership. And I would love to see that in a boss to really help me and guide me and bring out the best of me. So that's something I would like to see in the future of my career.
Do you think that your gender identity has informed the career path that you've chosen for yourself?
It's an interesting question. I feel like no, as because I just always grown up with the if you can do anything you set your mind to. So me being a woman, I don't think that should hold me back from being in commercial real estate, which is very white male dominated. It's a very lucrative business. It's big business. It's in all the top firms in the finance industry. I mean, real estate is a really driving factor of a lot of economic activity. And it's usually just taken over by like the top 1% or the top 5%. I don't think me being a woman should hold me back from getting involved in that and being tapped into that industry and into those lucrative benefits. So, although I'm aware of my gender identity in this space, I don't want it to hold me back. And I haven't considered it when I continue to push myself more into this industry. And I hope it doesn't for the rest of my life as well.
I appreciate that. If you were a consultant for a day and could offer solutions, what's one thing we could do as a society that moves us towards gender diversity and or parity in the workplace?
Well, I'm a part of two professional organizations in the real estate space. So one of them being Corporate Real Estate Network, and then the other one being Crew, which is commercial real estate women, and I'm a part of Crew Boston. So Organizations like that, if employers are able to tap into diverse pools of employees where they're networking, they're doing certain type of certifications, I think that helps build diversity in a company because you're really tapping in to people who are willing to learn, willing to do what they can in the industry, but they don't all look the same. They don't all come from the same background. So especially for an organization like Crew Boston, that's a women's organization where they're all dedicated to commercial real estate. As a consultant, I would say, hey, why don't we go take a look at what's going on over there? Is there anybody there that may have a skill that we need for this project? We're hiring this specific role. I feel like somebody here would have some experience in that. That would be really important in pushing the needle forward and getting diversity in these groups, because we can't just keep going to the same places. We can't just keep hiring the same people. If we want creative ideas, if we want new things to be happening in the industry, you have to look in new places. So that's what I would do.
Oh, I love that. We should hire you as a consultant already. Good. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I guess I would say, I really don't know. I guess I would say to my younger self, I know you're tired. I know you feel sometimes like it's not worth it, but you can keep going. Just just give yourself that extra hour. Just give yourself that little push you need in the morning, because I know you're busy, you're doing so much, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. You are going to get something out of this. So just keep going, and make sure to rest. I would tell myself to rest a little more, but don't give up. Don't give up, because where I am today, I would not be if I had given up. So I just want to continue to tell myself that.
Proud of you for not giving up, and I'm grateful that we get to work with you and collaborate with you because you did not give up. So that's a great thing. As we wrap things up here, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I guess I would just share that Women's History Month is just so important. There's so many people we want to highlight, and we should continue to highlight and celebrate. And as a woman of color as well, I know it can be hard when you have so many eyes on you when you walk in a room, because you know you don't look the same as everybody else. But regardless of that, you know what you bring to the table. So continue to hone in on that, improve yourself, keep growing, and one day they will have no other choice but to look at you.
Love that. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, and thank you for letting us interview you as part of our Women's History Month series.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.